Our son Beauden was born in September 2021 with a very rare condition called CCHS. So put simply, he doesn't actually breathe when he's asleep, which is his sort of the most drastic area that's been affected by this, and is the most common affected area by this genetic condition.
80 or 90% of children with CCHS have tracheostomies. It's a more efficient way of ventilation when they have quite severe CCHS.
So they reckon there's around 150 cases in the UK, but obviously a lot more worldwide. Experts believe there could be a significant number of infants with CCHS that sadly die without being diagnosed as well. The genetic testing itself has only been around for the last few years, and there's some theories that actually what was known as cot death is potentially related to CCHS.
Implications of having a tracheostomy, whilst it's better for ventilation, is he can't vocalise properly because the vocal cords sit higher than where your air expiration is when you have a tracheostomy. It's incredibly unsafe to go in the bath or swimming. If you simply get water in your tracheostomy, it's directly into your lungs and you will drown instantly. So we are hoping one day, with the support of Keep Me Breathing, that we can eventually get rid of that tracheostomy and actually hear his voice properly. He says small things, he makes babbles, but he's never laughed or cried. If he's upset or if he's hurt, you don't know unless you're watching his face.
We get a huge amount of support through the NHS, and everything is quite incredible. So from day one, from the hospital, from London to Brighton, the support is all the training, and then obviously in the home we get the community nurses as well. So if he ever does get poorly, then we go straight over to A&E, and then we're admitted into ICU in Brighton.
Beau has around the clock care. He was in hospital for his first 9 months of his life, and we spent the first 3 months were in Brighton, then the next 4 months were up and down from Evelina, London. We stayed at Ronald McDonald House, which is a charity that McDonald's supports. They put families up for free in accommodation who have poorly children in hospital. We stayed there maybe 4 days a week, and they would come home and then go back up. Also, because he was so premature, his lungs were in a very bad way. We were told to say goodbye twice in his first 2 weeks. Pneumonia and double lung collapse. We were practically begging for him to have a tracheostomy when he was finally 3 kilos. Obviously quite a major surgery and quite traumatic going through it. It happened only a few days before Christmas 2021. He has 12-hour night at home. Overnight, somebody awake in his room, 7 till 7. And then to go to nursery, he has 2 people. Because he has a tracheostomy, that is 2 people to care for him. So that is a fully trained nurse and a carer. I'm obviously his full-time carer. I don't have the capacity to work, but his admin is full-time, that it takes both of us to do his admin anyway. So all these people need to be highly trained, and it's not very easy to find carers who are tracheostomy trained. It's quite tricky, and also we've had a couple fall asleep, unfortunately, which it was obviously incredibly dangerous. Luckily for Ash, because he checks the camera overnight, he's managed to find them only a couple of minutes after they've fallen asleep, and I've gone in and woken them up, and the next day they've not come back. Keep Me Breathing was set up by James and Steph in Hove. They found out about us because obviously it's so rare to have this condition, yet there's 3 of us under the Brighton Hospital. I saw they had started the charity on the CCHS Family UK page. I think this within maybe only a month or 2 of the charity actually being formed. So they said, would I like to be a trustee, which is incredible. So we've pretty much been involved right since the beginning, haven't we? And very quickly been able to get a lot of interest and contacts from our connections in Arundel, because we've been involved in the town quite heavily for 10 years.
We are building the first specific treatment for people with CCHS. The technology for this medical device already exists. However, the investment isn't there. We are working with and funding a team of scientists and medical engineers for the support of a 5-year product development plan designed by Cambridge University. Within 5 years, the plan is to bring a new technology to market. The device will be implanted into the diaphragm to stimulate natural breathing, to replace the need for a ventilator and, in most cases, a tracheostomy. So we have a lot of work still to do, but there are families all around the world counting on us to transform their lives. We need to complete our first round of fundraising to reach this major milestone in our product development, so we're looking at ways to raise more funds and generate interest and awareness in what we're doing.